It can be incredibly challenging not to feel hurt or upset when others pass judgment on you. Such moments often leave you feeling trapped in a constant state of worry about what people's opinions of you might be. What if the true sources of emotional stability, freedom, peace, and authentic relationships lie in caring less about things that don't truly matter? Here are 7 remarkable transformations that occur when you cease to be concerned about what others think of you. 1. Freedom to be your authentic self. Every morning, as you awaken, your initial thoughts belong entirely to you. They are free from the burdens of societal expectations or the judgments you anticipate from others. You go to your wardrobe and select the attire that makes you feel comfortable and confident. No longer do you choose clothing based on a desire to fit in or please someone else. As you navigate your day, you express your thoughts and truths without the fear of facing a backlash. While it's understood that not everyone will agree with you, your voice is uniquely yours and deserves to be heard. The liberating feeling this brings is akin to nourishment for your soul, much like water is essential for the body. It quenches a deep thirst within you, possibly one you weren't even aware of. Once you begin to draw from the well of self-expression and self-acceptance, you'll wonder how you ever lived any other way. 2. Why is this freedom so important? It's because, when you are free to be your true self, you unlock a level of authenticity that would otherwise remain elusive. You're no longer pretending to be someone you're not, an exhausting endeavor. You're not draining your energy in the pursuit of keeping up appearances or conforming to molds that were never designed for you. Instead, you channel this energy back into yourself, fueling your dreams and nurturing your personal growth. 3. Reduced stress and anxiety, 2 heavy burdens that many of us carry, often unknowingly. The notion that you must conform to external standards or meet certain expectations is akin to a persistent cloud hanging over your head. It is an ever-present worry that twists your thoughts into a web of what-ifs and should-haves. What if people don't like what I'm wearing? What if they think less of me because of my job? I should have said this, I should have done that. These thoughts accumulate, don't they? Before you know it, they've filled your mind, leaving you overwhelmed and mentally drained. 4. When you no longer care about others' opinions, your thought patterns change. Your mind becomes clearer, enabling you to see situations for what they are, rather than what you fear others might perceive them to be. This clarity offers a new perspective, one centered on your thoughts and feelings, rather than those of the people around you. Decision-making becomes simpler because you now follow your own intuition and sense of right and wrong, instead of being driven by the fear of external judgment. 5. The emotional toll of stress and anxiety is significantly reduced when you free yourself from the judgments of others. Your heart rate no longer spikes at the thought of someone possibly criticizing you. The knots in your stomach begin to loosen as you stop replaying conversations in your head, wondering how you could have phrased things differently to please others. Physiologically, your body begins to relax, and this physical relaxation further enhances mental clarity, creating a positive feedback loop that promotes well-being. 6. Furthermore, you'll notice that as stress and anxiety diminish, your energy levels soar. You are no longer squandering emotional and physical energy on unnecessary worries. This newfound energy can now be channeled into constructive activities, pursuing your hobbies, nurturing your relationships, and investing in your personal and spiritual growth. 7. You no longer aim to please others. The path of pleasing others is full of compromises, often at the expense of your well-being and spiritual growth. It's like offering cups of water from your own well to passers-by, a noble act indeed. However, it can leave you parched and empty if you forget to replenish yourself. When you shift your focus from what others think to prioritizing your own needs, a transformation takes place. No longer tied to external judgments or expectations, you tap into a reservoir of inner strength. The source of your actions undergoes a significant shift, moving from a place of obligation to a place of genuine desire. This doesn't mean you become indifferent or uncaring towards others, it means you act authentically. There's a misconception that prioritizing oneself is a selfish act. This couldn't be further from the truth. Genuine self-love enriches not only your life but also the lives of those around you. When your actions originate from self-respect and inner harmony, you become a more loving parent, a more supportive friend, and a more engaged community member. You radiate positivity and uplift those you encounter. Think of the emotional and mental energy spent on constantly meeting others' expectations. It's exhausting, and often, no amount of effort is enough to please everyone. Freeing yourself from this endless loop preserves your inner resources for endeavors that genuinely matter to you. The saved energy can be directed towards your passions, relationships, and spiritual journey. Setting healthy boundaries is another benefit of no longer being governed by what others think. These boundaries act as safeguards for your emotional and spiritual well-being. They define acceptable behavior and delineate the contours of your sacred space. This is an act of self-respect, a declaration to yourself and others that your well-being is valuable and worth protecting. You no longer change yourself for others. The constant urge to change yourself to fit someone else's notion of who you should be is a struggle that nearly everyone has experienced. It often commences in childhood when we are inundated with messages about how we should look, behave, and what we should aspire to be. These messages come from various sources: family, friends, media, and society at large. The pressure can be overwhelming, and most crucially, it can divert us from the path of discovering and honoring our authentic selves. Let's delve deeper into the transformation that occurs when you liberate yourself from this cycle and why it's so transformative. When you continuously change yourself to meet others' expectations or to fit into societal norms, you pay a high price, even if you're not immediately aware of it. First, it's exhausting. The mental, emotional, and sometimes even physical effort required to maintain a facade or continually adapt your actions and decisions according to others' expectations is draining. Second, each time you sacrifice a part of yourself to fit someone else, you're essentially conveying that your true self is insufficient. This erodes self-esteem and leads to a diminished sense of self-worth. Over time, you may even lose sight of who you truly are as your authentic self becomes buried beneath layers of artificial personas adopted to gain acceptance or approval. Now, envision the transformation that occurs when you let go of the need to conform and instead embrace your uniqueness. It's like coming home after a long, tiring journey. You experience a sense of relief, comfort, and innate joy when you recognize and accept yourself, imperfections and all. By shedding the weight of external expectations, you free up immense amounts of energy and mental space. This newly reclaimed energy can be channeled into things that nourish your soul and bring you genuine happiness. Appreciating and expressing your uniqueness is an act of self-love. The more you love and accept yourself, the less you seek validation from external sources. When you cease seeking external validation, you discover that the world begins to accept you for who you are. Authenticity attracts authenticity. When you are genuine with yourself, you invite authentic interactions and relationships into your life, enriching your experience in ways you couldn't when you were busy conforming. There's also a profound sense of freedom in being unapologetically you. This freedom fuels creativity and inspires courage. You become more willing to take risks and venture outside your comfort zone because you're no longer held back by the fear of others' opinions. Each experience becomes more enriching and meaningful because it arises from your authentic choices and actions. You become self-reliant for happiness. The quest for happiness is one of the most universal journeys we undertake. However, we often seek it in external places and other people. When we rely on external sources for happiness, our emotional well-being becomes vulnerable. We place the keys to our joy in someone else's pocket, whether it's friends, family, or society at large. Imagine that your happiness is like a beautiful garden within you. If you allow others to control it, they may or may not tend to it. They might nurture the flowers or let them wither. But when you take charge of your own garden, you ensure it receives the care it deserves. You water the plants, remove the weeds, and savor the blossoms. You become the gardener of your own happiness, nurturing it from a place of self-love and self-understanding. Taking charge of your happiness offers an immediate benefit: resilience. Life is a series of ups and downs, filled with unpredictability and challenges. When your happiness is self-generated, you are better equipped to face these challenges without crumbling. Why? Because your sense of well-being isn't easily swayed by external circumstances. You don't need the world around you to be perfect for you to feel okay. You've cultivated an inner sanctuary of happiness that you can always retreat to, regardless of external circumstances. This resilience equips you to face life's ups and downs with less reactivity. You're no longer desperately searching for joy outside of yourself, and you don't experience wild swings between elation and despair based on external factors. Your emotional state becomes more balanced and centered. This doesn't mean you won't experience the full range of human emotions. Indeed, you will, and that's healthy. However, your core sense of happiness remains stable, like a sturdy tree that stands tall amid ever-changing weather. This emotional independence has another benefit: it improves the quality of your relationships. When you take responsibility for your happiness, you don't burden your loved ones with the task of maintaining your emotional well-being. This freedom allows them to be themselves, fostering deeper, more authentic connections. Both parties can enter the relationship as whole individuals who share and enhance each other's lives, without requiring the other to fill a void within them. How do you cultivate this inner sanctuary of happiness? It begins with self-awareness and self-acceptance. Take the time to truly know yourself, your likes, dislikes, passions, fears, and deepest desires. Embrace all of them. The better you understand yourself, the more effectively you can create conditions that nurture your happiness. Additionally, practice gratitude. It's a simple yet powerful way to focus on the positives in your life, rather than dwelling on what's lacking. The more you appreciate what you have, the more content you will feel. Don't underestimate the power of simple pleasures: a beautiful sunset, a conversation with a friend, or a good book. Finding joy in the simple things will reveal that happiness is abundant and easily accessible. Furthermore, engage in activities aligned with your values and passions. When you do what you love, happiness naturally follows. The time has come for you to take the empowering step of letting go of concern about what other people think and embracing a life rich in authenticity, joy, and spiritual fulfillment. The journey may not be without its challenges, but every step is worth it. Let today be the first day of the rest of your amazing life. You are enough just as you are. Celebrate yourself.